Okay. I'm sharing my screen. Once it is visible, say yes in chat box so that we can start our session. Is it visible? Yeah. Okay. Chaitanya, thanks. So, yeah. So I'll just take in a quick recap. So yesterday we discussed about shoring and underpinning. What are the precautions supposed to be taken, and also different types of shoring. Then we talked about how this uh, support or shoring will be helpful at the what cases. Then we have seen tunneling and shaft sinking. In the tunneling, as we see, it is a kind of a circular mission where it can completely cut the rocks as well as soil, and it will be taken out from the tunnel point on immediate basis. Okay, and also we have seen the safety precautions with respect to this tunneling activity as well. Okay, so we'll cover from here. So extension to the yesterday session. So as we seen before tunneling, so for the initial setting up of this tunneling machine, there we do blasting. Rock falls can cause major accidents. Therefore, inspection of walls and also roofs, scaling of the loose rocks, bolting and supporting weak spots, checking of the weak seams, and also planes by and hammer or any supporting of the roof side are essential. So basically, as we know, whenever any blasting happens, definitely it will explode. Due to the impact of the explosion, the rocks will thrown away. So due to that, the people may get impacted or may met with accident with the fallen or the thrown objects. Then the mechanical loading a must, and also the whole gear required for speedy construction in tunnel. And the musk, it is nothing but a dirty thing. It is nothing but a waste. The car should be loaded unevenly and not piled above the slides. So vehicle in the tunnel should not run overloading and also overspeeding. Rail tracks should be safe and also sound. So when it's a must, it is nothing but the waste where we are going to make a provision for the tunnel. So it will be loaded by the cars. When I say cars, it is nothing but the rail cars. So if you see railways, we used to have the goods, how the coal will be taken. Our coal will be transported by the rails. Same way, here also we use the smaller ones or the bigger ones, the cars, they will load the musk or the waste. And also it should not be overloaded and also over speeding. And smokeless locomotives should be used, and dump cars should be within the locating device to prevent the accidental tipping. Even smokeless locomotives. This is smokeless locomotives. What will happen? The nitrous oxide. So if your vehicles are smoking, from the smoking exhaust you will get the nitrous oxide. So which is harmful for the people. So when it says smokeless, hence it is in a closed atmosphere. So how it is closed atmosphere? So if you see in the top and bottom will be completely a rock or a surface. So only this much space it will create at the back end of the machine. So that will be almost like in a closed atmosphere. When you're using highly uh, emitting equipments. Locomotives are nothing but the vehicles. In there, it might be a chance of the presence of nitrous oxide is high, then the quality of air will decrease. Dump car should be with a locking device to prevent accidental tipping. So it is about the moving of the vehicle. It should have all the safety controls in place. Then when tunneling is done with the shaft or vertical rod or stem, a tunnel must is hoisted to the die shaft and also brought to the surface. These are vertical as well as horizontal. When I say vertical, mostly we use this vertical tunneling for the settling of the rock or to give a support for the excavated pits, or it will used to done at the dams or any high high-rise buildings construction area, so that it will not sunk when the complete construction is built. So it will be disposed. Then hoisting machine should be automatic brakes to stop or hold the convenience. If the hoisting power fails, it should be a depth indicator. Rules for the hoist lift should be followed as mentioned. So basically, it should have a automatic brake systems, and also we should have the instructions for the hoist and the lift movement and also operations. Then mechanical ventilation is necessary in tunneling work to supply fresh air to the working crew and the removal of the dust, fumes and gases, including methane, CO, etc. A rock dust containing silica and quartz may cause silicosis. The ventilation duct should be airtight and also should have reversible duct blowers to operate in both the directions. So here definitely yes, mechanical ventilation required. Once it is moved to a certain extent, there it will be difficult to balance or get a fresh air in the tunnel. So there will give the fresh air mechanical ventilation for the fresh air supply. And also same way, there we also use exhaust system to collect the dust which is generating while doing this tunneling activity, and also other gases which will generate, because some of the mines or some of the areas there might be a chance of this presence of fossil fuel or coal underneath the tunnel. There might be a chance of a CO generation as well. Okay, and also it should have reversible operation so that it can work for the dual purposes. Either it can suck the air from the tunnel and also it can able to supply the fresh air through the same duct. When you say reversible, it will be used in the for the two applications. One is sucking of the dust from the tunnels as well as supplying of the fresh air. Again, the tunnels are lined with a plain or reinforced concrete or steel forms to support the surfaces and to prevent any rockfall or scaffolding. Carrying pipeline of the pumped concrete should be strong enough, and also the worker should wear face shield or safety goggles. When you say a plain or reinforced concrete, what will happen? For example, if you see these portions, this mission will also carries with the uh, prefabricated or precasted structures. So now here we are making a circular hole for a mountain. So what will happen? Not at this moment. Over a period of time, there might be a chance the collapse of the soil which is adjacent of over and above the hole or at the sides. So what the machine does is once it makes the hole, and also it will creates a structure, a circular structure to prevent the fall of this adjacent soil or rocks. These kind of precasted material. Then how it looks? It looks a huge hume pipe. Once we placed all these precasted structure, so that it will support the loose soil or the stones which are at the edge of the tunnel. Then safety precautions for the shaft sinking are mostly the same for the above, and the shaft which is not sunk to the solid rock should be seized or also lined or otherwise made safe. Workers should be provided with the cradles from which they can work safely. The shaft top should be protected by the fencing or guardrails, toe boards and gates. Means for the escape and also ladder and bottom to the top should be provided in addition to any mechanical means of ingress and also egress. We do with the vertical where we use it as a shaft. Where it is a horizontal where we make it for the horizontal supports. All the shafts over 30 meter in depth should be an adequate head frame, strong enough to withstand the maximum load, and it should be open steelwork, fire resistant, and also protect against the lightning gas. Right, and shaft should have a signaling system that warns the hoisting man when any convenience passes beyond the safe limit of the travel. A single cord should be posted in the hoisting mission room and also at the each landing. When I said shaft, so it is in a vertical movement where we should have a signaling system for the movement of the metal as well as the people. No combustible metal or structure should be allowed with a shaft tunnel mouth or engine or hose or the fan house. The lubricating oil, grease, and rope uh, dressings should be kept in close to the metal containers. Okay, these are the precautions we can consider in the shaft tunnel. Now we'll see the above ground works. We have seen the underground works. When I say above ground works, these are mostly or height works. So as we know, most of the construction works in the form of an concrete or steel, wooden or mixed structure are formed just on the ground. The basic requirements to work at height has work procedures or scaffolding ladders, staircases, centering work, and also a form work, wall, and also floor openings, structural steel work as well as machinery and equipment for the movement of metal and man. So basically, we make these platforms or provisions especially for the movement of the material as well as machineries and equipment. When we talk about erection and dismantling of the steel and fabricated structures, so the safety of the workers should be ensured by providing a sound scaffolding platforms, ladders, and also gangways and bootsman chair, safety belts, a fall arrestor net, and lifting appliances. Once again, guys.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, sorry. I got to attend an urgent call. Okay. Yeah, sure, Chaitanya. I'll do. I'll zoom it. So is it fine now? Hope it is fine. So when we talk about this direction of steel structures, so the safety of workers should be ensured by providing sound scaffolds, platforms, ladders, gangways, bootsman chair, safety belts, and fall arresters. We know scaffolds and platforms. We know ladders and gangways. Gangways are nothing but the walkways. The bootsman chair. Bootsman chair is nothing but, if you see, the people used to sit in the platform or a chair kind of setup for the doing some certain activities. So mostly this bootsman chair have a vertical movement. Either it will go down or up. Then use of safety belts and fall arrestor net. Lifting appliances include power-driven mobile working platforms. So when I say power-driven mobile working platforms, we can take scissor lifts. Those are the power-driven mobile working platforms. Even in the scaffolds also will have portable scaffolds as well as permanent scaffolds. These portables also we can move from one place to other place. So with that, all the such platforms, we need a railing of at least 1 meter height. So handrails and toe bolts. Free end of safety belt must be tied within a fixed and also strong support. When you say handles, this is nothing but a handrail. When you say toe bolt, if you see in the bottom, there is a plank. So it is nothing but, so basically it protects the fall of materials. What will happen? These toe bolts are kept only at the platform or working platform. When is the working platform? So once I reach this height, this is my working platform. By standing here, I will perform my activity. So while performing activity, you will bring so many tools or different types of tools and material. There might be a chance of people may hit the tool or trip with the tool. Either tool will fall down or material can fall. So to prevent that material fall or tools fall, we put this toe board. It is mostly a 15 centimeter height, a thick uh, wooden sheet. Then the safety belt must be tied with a fixed support. Definitely yes, we have to hang our safety hooks above our shoulder. Then helmets, goggles, gloves, and aprons and other equipment should be worn by the workers. The floors and stairs and platforms should be dry, clean, non-slippery, and this can save many injuries. So when we say floor or platform, it should be from non-slippery, even stairs. Especially in the construction side, we could see that there might be a chance of slippery due to the curing operations, but it sometimes it can't avoidable to maintain completely clean and dry. But we have to ensure that there might be a fall or slippery surface in every location. People should walk carefully at this surfaces. And hooks for the lift and also transporting prefabricated parts or material should be self-closing type and also withstand the load and the stresses. A precast concrete parts should be allowed to set and also harden for its full strength. When you say precast material, if you are using for any precast material, it should give or we should give certain time to settle down till the it reaches the full strength. If you are making any such a platforms with precast material, stores and racks of steel and prefabricated parts should be on a firm ground, so arranged that no part should be fall or overturned. And second, prefabricate the material or structures, so it should be arranged or racked in a firm ground, which means it will have properly rained. It will not sunk the material or it will not penetrate into the soil. And lifting appliances should be suitable and also tested at 20% more load. The tongs and clamps should be capable of securing grip and also marked with the maximum permissible load. The lifting structure wall units should be placed that they do not fall by a wedge, a jerk, or any other factors. So, whatever the structure we have fabricated, it should be protected from the heavy winds or any jerks or sometimes the accidental hit by the heavy equipment in the construction site. So any other factors, it should be properly protected. Then also we have to give adequate instructions should be given to all the workers for the safe erection of these structures. If due to high wind, rain or snow or any reduced visibility, it becomes unsafe to work, the work should be interrupted. So the parts to be erected at a greater height should be assembled on the ground, while the lifting prefabricated parts, the area underneath it should be barricaded. So as we know, the people who are working for this erection, they will be well trained, and also they are certified people. Okay. Then we have to give proper instructions. Sometimes what will happen based on the season, uh, there may be a heavy wind or any rainy seasons, especially in the winters, the snow will be there. There it will reduce the visibility. So at that situation, it will become unsafe for the people to perform activity. In case of any such situations, it is better to hold the activity till you will get a clear visibility. And also in case of any prefabricated parts, so those can be assembled at the ground, then they can place at the top. So while lifting the prefabricated parts, the area underneath it should be barricaded. When you say underneath, it is nothing but people under the elevated loads. So there we are not supposed to allow anybody under the elevated loads. So that area should be barricaded so that we can avoid the pupil movement underneath this lifting activity. Steel trusses being erected should be firmly showed or raised or guide until they are permanently secured in the position, and no worker should be allowed to work under them at the time. So when it is showed, it is nothing but fixed. When I say trusses, so this is nothing but a truss. Okay, so this is, we call it as a truss. Under the trusses, you will have this truss. Over this, you will have a vertical supports. Then you will arrange the sheet over this trusses. Okay, this is a truss kind of support. So you'll have all the sides. You'll have a supports with this vertical and horizontal frames, so that it will get a rigidity and we can prevent it from the fall. So till the point you will fix it, it has to be protected. And also, whenever any erection happens, this kind of trusses or any erection happens by using the cranes, we are not supposed to allow anybody to work underneath. And a boom or any moving part of the crane, including the load lifted, should not be touched such trusses. So sometimes what will happen while lifting or doing such activity, there might be a chance of the boom can also touch this trusses. It has to be avoided. In the absence of such precautions, 6 workers died in one of the accidents. The truss fell down on the workers when working underneath. No load bearing structural member support. No load bearing structural member support should be weakened by cutting or drilling, etc. Open web steel joints should be directly placed in a position that's secure against the dislodgement. So basically what will happen, we take the support at particular or different locations to lift this purlins, then we have to attach at the multiple locations. What will happen if you see this here? We have a number of supports. Here you will see one more purlin in the back end, just an assume. Then here you have a one uh, support or trusses. So here what will happen? At least three or four. Here if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, total 8 supports you have given here. So instead of total 8, for initial you can have every alternative support. Then only you have to leave, or when only you have to remove the belts which you have applied for the trusses. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen? There might be a chance of fall of this stress, resulting people get injured while lifting activity. Then we have steel structure works and erection. So as we know, the fabrication act should be well away from the rail track, road, or overhead transmission lines, boiler houses, and also sources of ignitions. So when the different situations, these are all not or at the one situation, maybe wherever you are doing a fabrication activity, it shouldn't be from the rail track, because hence you have continuity supply at the rail track and also roads. It become an obstacle for the vehicles which will move in the roadways with the fabricate material or lifting or shifting activities. Then overhead transmissions, that is also risky with the overhead transmissions. While handling these cranes and booms can have uh, be a part of the circuit due to the electromagnetic field and get the shock, and the lines and also boiler houses and sources of ignitions. So these are the different situations and different kinds of operations where you should keep the fabrication yard bit away. While unloading the structural steel, the wagons or trucks by crane, wheels should be made stationary by fixing the wedges, and also nobody should stand under the hanging load. So unloading of the steel. When you say wagons, it is nothing but the railway and also trucks. There you will make sure that it should be the wheel should be stationary. It is nothing but if you are using any heavy cranes. When it is in a hydra, so you will not have any wedges. It is nothing but the structural supports. And while putting heavy structure, supports or props should be given to prevent the toppling at both the ends of the gantry crane. Stopper should be provided, or leather gloves, goggles, etc. should be used as per the requirement. Portable tools should be have guards and also proper fuse, ELCBs in the power connections, etc. When you say gantry, it is nothing but the track where you are erecting these structures. If you would have seen an EOT cranes in any manufacturing industries or any other industries or any gantry, it is nothing but it like in a how a track look like. But here you will have the hoist setup for the lifting and shifting of the activities. And also, the direction of the load, the work should be ascertained for the center of gravity and its transfer at the slinging points. The lifting machine, ropes, slings, and also tackles, etc., should be checked for its good working order and also safety. So, erection work with the load should be ascertained for center of gravity. Again, center of gravity is very important. For example, if you see this itself, the minimum width will be minimum to 20 feet or 30 feet length will be there. So here also, based on the type of material you are lifting, you should ensure the center of based on the frame structure and also load and also the length of the your or apply your lifting tackles to attempt for a lift. All these ropes and slings, the tackle should be checked for its good working order and also safety. Eye bolt should be provided at connect and slings points while lifting heavy machineries, such as motors, turbines, generators, etc. When you say I bolt, just a second. Mostly the working people would have familiar with this I bolts. So you would have seen some of the I bolts which are directly fixed on these motors, turbines, or generators. Some of them you will see the provision. There you'll have a threading where you use these eye bolts for the lifting. No sling should be overloaded. The slinging cord should be known to all the proper tagline should be used for guiding while lifting the loads. So you have this slinging cords is nothing but lowering or shifting or uh, lifting of the load as well as proper tagline. When they say tagline is nothing but a safety rope should be used while lifting these loads to avoid the swinging of the load to make a balance. Second, bottom sides. Okay. And it's a guide rope as well, so that what will happen in case of any wind or initially there might be a chances of the job will rotate here and there or it will move here and there, so that we can avoid by applying this a tagline so that we can stop the movement of the vehicle or the part. Stack of structural members should be such that a light members should be at the top and also in the sequence of erection, not in position to roll down or slide the while handling. We have to stack all the structural members should be in such a way that the light members should be at the top and also sequence of the erection. When I say light members, always yes, the light members will be in the top to avoid the overweighting and the position and it not in position to roll down. Sometimes what will happen, they will attach multiple parts at the lifting, attempting for one lift. There at the time there might be a chance of sliding of these pieces of the materials. So if you are not having proper center of gravity also, so if you applied for this particular area, if you are applying somewhere here the belt and one belt is here, what will happen? Due to the weight which is in the other side, it might be a chance to lift this side and it will go down. Same way, if you are attempting for a multiple pieces or a bundle of pieces, there you have to see the center of gravity of the weight as well. And also, the clear passages should be allowed and should not be jammed against the objects. So this is also one critical activity. Whenever you attempt for a lift, so the people used to guide the crane operator. So people will give some support till it gets tighten the belts or chains. They used to hold it. So there you should be very careful. So with your hands and also jamming between the lifting slings and the load or objects, and also bolts and nuts and tools, etc. Okay, we have to ensure. And also the bolts, nuts, and etc. Should be kept in boxes and also not loose or on the structure. In case of such things, if you are carrying, so those should be kept in a box, not on the lifting objects.